All right, welcome back to another episode of the Kitchen Table Podcast where business gets done. I'm Ken Baden, and today we are with Taylor, and I know I'm going to say this wrong because I just asked you how to say it, but I'm going to try real quick because you told me you don't really know how to say it, but it's Baires?
Yes.
Taylor
Barrett.
Baires. See, I was going to say, I'm not even going to say that, but you're here virtually from Florida today?
Florida.
Where are you at today? Are you in there? I got it right. Awesome. Awesome. Because I know you travel a lot, so I know you were
Yeah, I was
bebopping
just in
around.
South Carolina.
Were you there for the consulting?
Yes, I was doing a blitz, door-to-door blitz,
I saw that.
and just spent the weekend there, was hoping that the hurricane was going to hit. It was going to be a direct hit
And it didn't
for,
hit.
no, it ended up getting pulled
Uh,
back into the water. So,
that stinks. I saw that. I saw that on your Facebook. Taylor is a business owner in the roofing space. She owns Varadero Roofing Group. She's also a consultant. So, like myself, she helps other businesses in the area, probably namely, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sure a lot of roofing contractors.
yes.
Okay. And her consulting company is Solutions Beyond the Storm, hence why she was out looking for a storm in South Carolina. Unfortunately, missed it. But I'm assuming what you had a company that called you out to try to do a blitz.
Yeah, had me come out. He's actually been a
So
client of mine
excited,
for
the
a
storm's
while.
coming. Come on out, Taylor. And then it doesn't show.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's run a blitz.
Man, that stinks. So how did you get, I've been wanting to get on with Taylor for a while. I've been watching your stuff on social media. I've been really impressed with the stuff that you got, what you're putting out, the content you're putting out, what you bring to the industry. Another thing that, really obvious, I suppose, elephant in the room is when we talked originally, we don't see enough, I think, females in the industry. But one thing recently I've certainly seen an uptick, and it might just be in my circles, but I think that's super cool, man, because some of those badass salespeople I know are women, and just go out there and
100%.
just smoke. A lot of these guys, man. I mean, it's the truth, So I used to say
Well, even
like,
if you have the best door-to-door salesman, they're more likely to open up the door for a woman just because they let their guard down immediately. Like
"Hmm,
it's an unfair advantage almost because of the fact that like nobody's really threatened by a woman when it's at the front door. Like they're
mhm.
like a man comes and they're like, "What are you here for? What do you want?"
Right, what do you want?"
They already have their guard up and they're already like ready to argue with you of why you're knocking on my door. With a
Right.
woman, they're like, "Hi, how can I, like, what do you need? How can I help?" Like the approach is just completely different. Their guard's already down. They're just wondering, what do you want? Like,
Are you lost? Are you okay? Do you need some help?
yeah. Did
Oh,
somebody hurt you? Like, are you all
yeah.
right? Why
I
are you
need to
knocking on my
come
door?
inside and sit at your table. I honestly think that that's 100% true, man. And I was telling, I just had a young lady that worked for me in door to door. She was in canvassing in the entry level, but she had never done it before. And I'm like, I'm telling you, if you just stick to this, like, you're going to have a much easier time than the other guys at the door simply because of what you just said. Like, people aren't going to be scared when they come to,
They're
like,
more trusting.
way more trusting. So I'm glad you pointed that out. And I think, ladies, if you hear this and you're like, maybe I don't know if I want to get in door to door, telling you, what she just said is so true, so true. And like, I've been doing this for 20 years. The women that I've seen stick through it and to it, they either do it or they don't do it. And when they do it, they do so extraordinarily well. Like there's no in between. You know what I mean? I don't really know any women that I know personally that just kind of do it and are just mediocre at it. Like they either do it, don't like it, don't do it, or they're just like badass. Like they just crush it. So I don't know, give yourself a shot. But how'd you get into the industry? More importantly, like tell us your story. How'd you get in? Now you own a business in the industry, you consult in the industry, but you didn't start there. So take us through how that became where you are now.
So I was kind of born into it. Tried to get out a couple times and I always end up back in. I always joke that it's like a mafia. Like once you join that sales, it's hard to get out, especially if you're good at it. Like I always say it's more of a lifestyle than like just sales. It's not something like how people can just go to work and just work and then leave. Once you really dive into sales, that 100% becomes a lifestyle. Like you've made a decision that like this is life and it's a completely different mindset that you have from like regular people. Um, I don't ever clock out mentally. Like I'm always thinking of like what is the next way to advance, or how can I learn something different? But I was born into roofing. My dad is a full GC. I grew up on job sites. He took full advantage of having a blonde-haired, blue-eyed daughter. I was out knocking doors and leaving door hangers in neighborhoods long before I was ever allowed to legally
Smart
work.
dad.
Yeah. He said nobody's going to tell her no. Like
I
full
just had a
advantage.
daughter, so you're giving me some great ideas. I'm
Yeah,
already
it's
thinking
free
like,
labor. Like you want somewhere to live? You're going door to door.
right on. I'll have to run
And
that one
then
past my wife. We'll see if we get away with it, but we might.
yeah,
I
he
might
didn't care
win.
what
You
my
never
mom had to say about it.
know. Again, smart
And
dad. But I
yeah,
don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I definitely learned very early on that like nobody's coming to save you. And
Mhm.
he made me learn hard work. Um, I was also the oldest, so I was raised completely different than like the rest of my siblings. I have two younger sisters that were raised a lot different and their mindsets are different. Like I was raised on job sites. Like I can remember specifically like there was nothing for me to do that day. I wanted money for something. He had me sweep a parking lot. People are like, "Why are you sweeping a parking lot at a commercial job site?" My dad told me to. Like simple as that. He said you're going to earn your money. Like it was never anything that was just handed to me. And I remember being younger and like how unfair, like my dad's so mean. And now I'm so grateful for the way that he was with me because I had to earn everything. So I never expected anything from anybody.
Yeah. And so you grew up on the commercial, well, you grew up in a GC
Full.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's something you came up in, and he had you
Grew up hating
literally.
storm chasers, matter of fact.
Really? Oh, so your dad was on the other side and just thought he
Yeah,
loathed the horn
retail,
chase?
local, spent my whole life building his local company and then would get a hailstorm, grew up in like outside of Chicago, Naperville, Aurora area. And he had his regular customers that bathroom remodel, basement remodel, like anything that they needed between the deck and the house, like he was the person. So those storm chasers would come in when you get a storm and just go after all of his clients. And then, I mean, some of them, of course, would go with the storm chaser just because they're good at what they do. They're good talkers. And so, I mean, he hated them growing up. Like, I
Yeah.
remember it, hated the storm chasers, the fly by night guys, as he would call them. And then I ended up growing up and becoming one.
How does he feel about that? He probably doesn't care now.
Proud from what he says.
Yeah. It's
It's,
different when you get into it because he knows that you're not some fly by night, whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I mean, I always do like most of the time I go with my clients. You know, they're people that I have a good reputation with, and I know that I can trust them. I know that they're going to provide the service that they say they will, and that they're going to pay me. You know, that's the most important when you do storm chase is making sure that you don't end up with one of those chuck in a truck companies that are going to not pay you and not take care of your clients.
So you'll go right out and like you basically are just like a mercenary. And don't forgive me, but like because there's so many different iterations of consulting when it comes to this. But it sounds like you actually go out to the site, to the company, and like offer your services. Like you physically go out and you'll hit the doors, you'll get the jobs kind of stuff, or do you do a mix of both, like training and delivering, or is it
It
just
is
kind of
a mix
curved
of
to
both.
like whatever the company needs? Okay, all right.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fun to me to
Mhm.
go and chase a storm. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world to me, honestly, because
I'm
after
sure it
being in
is easy for
retail for
you.
so long, like a fresh storm, I'm like, bring it on.
I
Like,
know.
it's like being in a candy store. Like,
Mhm. I think that you just hit a great point, by the way. Like in this industry, the guys that I've trained, I just popped the button. This is crazy. My button just popped. Just we were talking about before the show. I put on some baby weight and I didn't have the baby, but I just popped the button. I literally popped it. So we're gone. I'm gonna give up on it. I'm not doing this on purpose. This is not like a new look or something like that. This is my second show post having the baby. I didn't have any baby. My wife had the baby. She did all the work. But I have put on a couple pounds. And so, anyhow, I just thought I'd mention that because I just felt the button literally just pop off. Anyhow, what was I talking about with consulting? Oh, retail. All of the reps that I trained in retail first, because that's my background, retail. I started at Power in '08. I've worked for several different retail companies, not just roofing. I've sold, just like your dad, I've sold decks. I love selling decks, bathrooms, basements. I mean, pretty much anything in a home, I've sold it at least once. A
Yeah.
lot of exteriors and the traditional exterior package, roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters. Um,
Right.
but those who learn retail first, which is a true retail one call close system, and you go to insurance restoration or storm chasing, it's just like you said, it's like taking candy from a baby because you can bring those retail principles with you. So now you're not just like a lot of these folks in storm are just hustling. Like they just see it like, oh, free roof, which is not even, don't even get me started on that. That's why your dad didn't like them, right? Because there's a lot of those guys out there. But when you can bring an element of like sales acumen and say, hey, yeah, you're going to have to pay your deductible, but that should be the easiest sale in like the world when you've sold roofing for 20, 30, $40,000. You know what I mean? And you're like, dude, this is because you believe it. You're like, this is such a great value. You're just getting this for your deductible. Like, what are we talking about here? This is huge. So I just think that's so important that you brought that up. Like learning retail first and then going to insurance is invaluable. I mean, it's like to me that's the right path. But I get why not, some people might not
Well,
see it.
how many people that are doing numbers in storms that you know that could go and do retail?
From storm to retail,
Yeah, like I
very
personally,
few, to be honest with
yeah,
you.
I personally even like door to door guys that have no clue
They would get destroyed.
how, yeah, they have absolutely no clue.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't even know what retail is. Most of
Like,
them. They're like, yeah, yeah, we do retail, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what do you mean? They're like, well, if a job doesn't get bought, we offer them a price, and I'm like, yeah, probably like the cheapest one you can give them, something like that. Like you do retail when you're able to command a premium for a premium product and service. You don't get to just rip people off.
right,
But like you can walk in there and say like, "Hey, look, we're not going to be the cheapest company. That's not what we do here. There's plenty of options for you if that's what you're looking for. It's not going to be us. If you're looking for getting this done right the first time with a top tier warranty, top tier service, we're going to be your company." And being able to sell that no problem, that's a retail salesperson, which I'm sure you could absolutely say that. We got to get you out here, man. I think we can have get some good content one and two do some serious damage together. But I love talking retail, and you have a retail company. How long have you had that?
so I've had it officially since 2020. It was already somebody else's company. The license is technically not in my name. I had been working with him for maybe a year and a half, and then I kind of mentioned that I wanted to open up my own company and get my own license in Florida, and he was like, "Well, why would you do that when you can use mine?" And I was like, well, because I'm tired of like building things for other people and not really having anything to show for it. And so we ended up kind of negotiating a deal where I am part owner of the company and
Oh
could
wow,
do
hell
with it
yeah!
what I wanted.
And so that's how that came to be.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. 2020. That's like right in the COVID times too. How was that in Florida?
I was actually at that time before I came back into the field, I was in law enforcement.
What? Doing what? Like as a cop?
Um, a mixture between that and I was working as a correctional officer.
You were working as a correctional officer. Where at? In Florida?
Yeah.
I actually was on the other end of that. So you and I could have actually
A lot of
been.
people in the industry were
Yes, yes, they were. That's the other thing. I hate that stigma, but it really does exist, unfortunately. I had a guy trying to give me crap the other day about he's like that, like any attorney would ever be married to some criminal scumbag. He was talking about me and my wife, and I was like, well, she did. And I mean, I don't know how to take that, but I'm a lot of things. I'm a lot of other things too. But the
Yeah.
industry does kind of have that. Why do you think that is? I think, well, you know what it is though. It's not just roofing. You don't see that as
It's
much in
construction
retail.
in general.
Mhm.
The fact that like You don't have to have any type of qualifications. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to. And that's what I try to explain to sales reps or like people that want to get into something and make a big amount of money. Like roofing or construction in general is the best route to go just because of the fact that you don't have to have any of those things. People do not really care if you have a felony or if you have, like, if you wanted to change your life and overcome these obstacles that most jobs would give you, that's the best route to go is to go into sales and actually change your life because the opportunities are limitless.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What would you say? What would you say is the biggest, with insurance restoration? What do you think is bigger, insurance restoration or retail? Or rather, what do you think is the future of this? Because insurance restoration is so it's getting harder and harder and harder. I know storm chasing still works, and the storm markets it'll probably always work, but like I know they being the insurance carriers are working to drive up deductibles. They're doing anything they can to make it harder. Do you see
Yeah.
this trending that way? And like insurance, like where do you see the roofing industry in the next year to 5 years?
It's definitely, I believe, heading more retail, especially in Florida. Florida is, I mean, just the governor recently, the last storm we had went on and said, don't sign any contingencies, don't sign anything with anybody, don't sign with a contractor. So nobody wanted to sign anything, which really made a lot of companies struggle, but they all want bids. Same thing with Texas. I mean, Dallas is one of the main places that gets hit with hail, and same thing. I mean, the deductibles are just
I
outrageous.
know.
I've seen as much as like 27K, and it's like at that rate, you might as well just pay for the roof yourself.
Right, 100%. I mean, and
When
I
you even have
think
insurance. Like,
I hate that too, though. I honestly I mean, I'll hold my opinions there and that. Like, we have a vertical that does insurance restoration, and I want to keep doing it because I don't want to just like give up because that's what the insurance carriers want. But I agree
yeah,
with you. I think retail is the inevitable conclusion. Like, we just got to go there. I mean,
a lot of people are self-insuring in Florida.
really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of that. I mean, if somebody wanted to utilize your services, Taylor, or they wanted, obviously, if they want to use your company, they can go ahead and look you up. We've got do you have a website or anything for the company? But I want to make sure
Yes.
that you mention they could use your services for the consulting if they need you because you're nationwide, right? You'll go wherever.
I will go wherever. Yeah. As long as they want to pay for the services, I
I was
will
getting
go
ready
there.
to say, as long as they're ready to pay, how do
If
they
you're
find
ready to
you?
invest in yourself, then yes, I will be there.
Premium, ready to invest premium. Don't go cheap. You'll get cheap results.
Yeah. And people say that all the time. They're like, well, why should I have your training more than somebody else's? I think that you should invest in as many trainings as possible because you're going to take something from every training that
Yeah,
you do and you're going to become the better version of yourself regardless.
100%.
The more you know, like the better. Your growth is so valuable, and the more that you learn, you're going to pick and choose stuff that you don't like and stuff that you do like.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've paid 500,000 in different coaching platforms, and I still have a ton to learn. But specifically, how does someone utilize your services? Where do they find you?
The main thing would definitely be Facebook. That's kind of like my main platform where everybody is kind of together. But the solutionsbeyondthestorm.com is my website, and I have Instagram. So those would definitely be the main ways.
What's your Instagram? Is the solution beyond the
No, that would
storm?
be Taylor Baires. So I guess
Taylor
if somebody
Baires.
really wanted
Okay.
to find me, it would be Taylor Baires, Facebook,
Taylor
Instagram.
Baires Facebook, Taylor Baires Instagram, and just message, and you'll be able to get connected that way.
Yep,
Excellent.
simple enough.
Well, make sure you guys check her out. I'm gonna get you. Let's connect after this, Taylor, because I would like to get you out here to Maryland, but we'll talk offline. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure actually getting to have you on because I know this is a million times that we've tried to make this happen now. And
We're both so busy.
yes, ma'am. We'll go crush it in Florida. We're happy to finally have you on here, and we'll have you out here again real soon. Maybe we'll get you in person. But until then, thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you.